I'm Garnet, this is Eggs. She might look different now, something happened. Harvest Moon 64 was developed by Victor Interactive Software and released for the Nintendo 64 in 1999. This game takes place in Flowerbud Village, the same village as the SNES game, after a time skip. So all of the bachelorettes are the granddaughters of the original bachelorettes. The original bachelorettes also had a few grandsons, and rivals do exist in this game, but unfortunately, like in SNES, you cannot play as a girl, so these charming fellas are not available for you. Before you even start the game, the title screen will play the scene of your grandpa's funeral, so you can see this whenever you want if you just let the title screen sit. What an introduction. Once you actually start the game, you'll inherit grandpa's farm, but after your third spring, so after 2 1/4 years, your father will come to check on how you're doing, and you will be given an ending like in SNES, but unlike in SNES, you can continue playing after the ending, but not if it's the bad ending. If you're not married and have no animals, your father will think you're too young to have a farm, and you will go back to the city with him. So you won't be able to continue that file. For the good endings, there are different comments you'll get from various characters based on things like how social you are, how much girls like you, how much you fish, how many animals you have and how well you take care of them, how healthy you are, how much you're shipping, how many extensions you have, how much grass you have growing in your fields, fill them, and how many recipes you've learned. Your father will make comments and ask you questions about certain things on your farm, determined by how many animals you have, again, how much money you have, and how high your happiness level is. After that, you'll attend a party, and up to 10 partygoers will be shown showing up. They'll only show up if their affection is high, so make a lot of friends, talk to people, give gifts often. You should be friends with more than 10 people for your father to be impressed. More than enough for the party, that's what I've heard at least. I need to tell you about the pictures. There are pictures that you can collect throughout the game that will be put into an album, which you can access that album at your nightstand where your diary is. Each picture has its own specific requirements, and the most difficult to get is the party picture. Just because you see the party at the end doesn't mean you'll get the party picture. It's a lot more complicated. It took a long time for people to figure out what exactly the requirements for this picture were, and the old guides, still existing, gives me trust issues, but I did get the picture, and I managed to get it in my first playthrough, so I'm pretty happy with myself. It wasn't a perfect playthrough. I'm missing a few other pictures and some other things, but I'm pretty happy. When I started, I played up until nearly the end of my second fall without using guides to see if it was easy or not. It was not. Then I was too late for a lot of things by the time I did start looking at guides, and the guides that I did start looking at either had wrong information or not clear and complete enough information. After I was finished with my playthrough, I finally found the only one place so far that has reliable information. I'll of course tell you a lot of what you need in this video, since my reviews are more opinionated walkthroughs. But when you inevitably need a written guide, you should probably use Strategy Wiki. I won't swear that every tiny thing is completely correct, and I know there's some things that it doesn't have, which I'll attempt to fill in for you here. But I found so many things that I needed to know here and only here. I got every recipe except for one, because nowhere else told me that you had to give Carpenter Apprentice number 2 the mushroom specifically during fall. I knew I needed to give him a mushroom, but no one told. Nothing said anything about it only being during fall. So all those mushrooms I had saved in my fridge were completely useless. I kept on thinking maybe there's a friendship thing that wasn't mentioned. I kept trying to give him other gifts to see if he would. It wouldn't work. And I tried both Carpenter's, thinking maybe I didn't know which apprentice was the correct one. No, it had to be fall. So clearly I'm still a bit upset Not over that yet. By the way, you can't actually cook in this game. Recipes are just for collecting and impressing the gourmet. There are 35 recipes in total. Back to the party picture. You need to have gotten at least 6 red power berries. The blue one doesn't count. These papers on the wall are for showing what power berries and what recipes you have in the kitchen here. Where are those when you don't have a kitchen? You need to have 250 happiness. There's not a way to see this, and Strategy Wiki doesn't have a section for happiness that I can find at least. But from what I've heard from other people, you shouldn't drop items because that decreases it. That also decreases mine in real life. Scaring birds increases it. Attending and winning festivals increases it. Fishing, I hate fishing, increases it. Using the bathroom, I think, increases it. I was nervous, so I used the bathroom and took baths a lot. I don't know if baths do anything, but I felt weird and unbalanced if I didn't use them the same amount of times. Your dog needs at least 200 affection. Feeding increases it and not feeding decreases it. So always put something in that bowl. Whistling and picking it up will also increase. Be married and your wife needs 250 affection. Talk to her daily, give her gifts as much as you can. Have a baby, and to have time to have the baby before the end, make sure you get married at least before the end of the second summer, preferably even earlier if possible, because it should take about 3 months after marriage to have a baby. It can be longer if your wife isn't happy, or if you don't have the requirements to have a kid in time, you don't have the crib. So get married fast. Villagers altogether need at least 2,494 affection. And like I said before, a full 10 villagers need to come to the party. You can't see affection, but they need at least 160 affection per person to attend. Full affection is 255 for each person. So yeah, I aimed for full affection, of course, because you still need that freaking 2,000 something. That's a lot. Lots of talking, lots of gifts. Also, some villagers can't attend the party. Pretty sure it's still good to at least talk to them to raise the total. I think that counts towards the total still. But I would save the gifts for the ones who can attend, at least at first. Pretty sure Barley, Sydney, all of the Carpenters, Ellen, Cybara, Dagus, is that who you say his name? Gaia and Greg cannot attend. Not sure about the sprites. You need at least 1 chicken, and she needs to be happy. You need happy chickens, all happy chickens. That's not hard to do. You need every house extension, which there are 6 of. It takes a while to get all the lumber since there's a limit to how much lumber you can get in a day. So get chopping right away. And finally, 384 squares of grass, which I made sure I had by entirely filling my field with nothing but grass as soon as I had the greenhouse built and started growing my actual crops in there. An easy thing to do, but not an easy thing for players to figure out they needed to do. Since you need at least 6 red power berries for the party picture, and I had such a hard time figuring out how to get those. I gotta tell you how to get all of those. 1. Till the soil until you find one. Easy. 2. Buy one from that shady salesman. His name is Sammy, by the way. At the flower festival for 1,000 G. Easy. 3. Fish on the dock at the beach until you catch one instead of a fish. Good luck, this one absolutely sucks. Not easy. 4. Do no work so that you have full stamina. Then go to the goddess pond and throw in an egg or a crop. Then ask her for more energy. This might not work if you do it too early in the day, because the first time I tried, she didn't show up, and I was really confused. So I reset, and I tried again, but waited a little longer, and it worked. So that was really weird, but overall, pretty easy. Why does the goddess have does she have a schedule where she will and won't show up? 5. Befriend Basil, and eventually he'll bring you a power berry when he returns in spring. I gave him a lot of gifts when I saw him when I was wooing Potpourri, because I married her, and I have not been able to get this berry. Some places said to give the whole family gifts, and yeah, I gave obviously I gave Potpourri gifts, and I gave Lilia gifts as well, so I don't know, this one confuses me. It should be easy, but apparently it isn't. 6. Get a golden hammer. Tool upgrades happen automatically in this game, so no need for ores, payment, or waiting. Very convenient. Just use the hammer a lot. You don't even have to like use it properly. You can just like use it on your table at home and it'll work. I don't know if you actually have to do it at the table or if you can do it anywhere. I remember like people would say to do it at the table, and I remembered it. I didn't even know I was ever gonna play the game when I remember people saying this, to like use your tools on the table. So that's where I did it. I don't know if it has to be on the table, but that's why I did, and it works. In the winter, there's a rock by the Kappa pond that you can easily get to when the water is frozen. Smash it with your golden hammer. Pretty easy. 7. The one you get by growing flowers for stew also really confuses me. No one seems to agree on how many moondrops and or pink cats you need to grow to get stew to come and give you marbles. I know you need to give the marbles to the sprites after, and they give you the berry. I grew a lot of flowers in both my first and second spring, trying to do this, like just growing them, leaving them in the field, waiting for him to show up. Where was he? If he needed to be befriended first, because some people were saying that, I think he should have liked me enough by the second spring. I would hope. I didn't even try to do it in the third spring, since I already had enough power berries for the picture, and I wanted to keep my grass. Yeah, I wanted to keep my fields full of grass. Strategy Wiki says 8 moondrops and then 16 pink cats. I think after you plant the moondrops, he's supposed to show up and tell you to plant more. I think that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be 2 different him showing up, and then you plant the pink cats. I don't know, though. This one's not easy. I can't figure out what's true. 8. Win the egg festival in your first year. It's like the one in SNES where you have to look for like the right egg color. Easy if you're playing on Switch Online. That's what I'm playing it on, and use save states. So yeah, anyway, I'm telling you that I cheated. 9. Dig in the mine, which is only open from winter 8th to the 30th. I went in pretty deep before I found it. It took a while. I don't think there is actually one specific floor that you have to be on to find it. I don't think you'll find it on the first floor though, like at least go deeper than that. Save states help here too. Not easy, but I managed. 10. Throw a big fish into the Kappa pond. Again, fishing sucks, so this is not easy, but for me it was easier than actually fishing up a power berry. Doable. And then I guess 11, the blue one, but it doesn't count, but it doesn't do anything. I think it was supposed to do something, but it's like glitched here or something. It's just neat though. So, you know, when you're catching fish to get the other power berries, you'll have plenty of fish to spare. Just throw a small or medium fish into the Kappa pond, just like you do with the big one, and you'll get the blueberry. The blueberry? The blue power berry. Moving on from all of that. Crop farming is the regular 3x3, 9 seeds to a bag, can't walk through them, so leave space around again, the usual. You'll have the hoe, watering can, sickle, hammer, and axe at the start of the game. All of these tools will automatically upgrade to silver and then to gold as you use them. No other work required. All seeds can be bought at Flower Lilia. You can grow pink cat, moondrop, and blue mist flowers in both spring and summer, but you cannot sell them. So while it is good to grow them for gifts, and there are certain events that can be triggered by growing them, you know, if you do them right. Don't go too crazy with the flower growth or you'll end up with more than you'll know what to do with. For normal crops, you have turnips, potatoes, and cabbage in spring. None are regrowable. There's corn and tomatoes in summer, both are regrowable. And then there's eggplants in fall, which are also regrowable. So cabbage and eggplants are what's new that weren't in SNES. As is actually being able to grow crops in fall, because you couldn't do that in SNES, that's weird. It feels like there should be sweet potatoes, but there's not. They are in Back to Nature. I think that's why I think that they should be here. Those aren't the only new crops though. There are strawberries. And I'm sure you're thinking strawberries are probably maybe in spring, but no, because you can only buy strawberry seeds during winter. But you can't plant any crops in winter, at least not without the greenhouse. I love the greenhouse. In the greenhouse, you can plant all crops during every season. You can have everything growing at once. Flower Lilia will sell all seeds all year round once you have the greenhouse, except for strawberries for some reason, so buy as many of those as you can before winter ends. You can have 20 bags of each seed at a time before you, for some reason, get cut off. Time doesn't move in the greenhouse because it's considered a building. Time stops in all buildings, but moves pretty quickly outside, so as soon as you get that thing, only plant crops inside the greenhouse. It'll save you so much time. Then you can fill your field with just grass, so much grass. This is my favorite building. Be careful though, because it can be destroyed in a typhoon. Check the weather in summer. Don't save if there's a typhoon when you go to bed, because you'll want to reset until your greenhouse is not destroyed, if it was destroyed. Or if you're using save states, you can save on the save state before you click to go to bed. It's not like you can do anything on the day of a typhoon anyways, so saving the same amount of time, whatever. I haven't actually had my greenhouse destroyed yet though. I've had a lot of typhoons, and yeah, my greenhouse is strong. You can have cows and sheep in the barn and chickens in the coop. You can buy them at Green Ranch. Cows cost 6,000 G and sheep are 4,000 G, and you'll get a bell to herd your animals for free when you buy a cow or sheep. The milker, brush, and shears need to be bought from Rick's shop. And chickens cost 1,500 G, and there's an incubator, so you get the rest for free. Cows and sheep will need to eat fodder that you can get from when you cut grass or when you buy it at Green Ranch. And you'll have to buy chicken feed from the ranch. You can't grow that. Chickens won't eat fodder in this game. You can also buy miracle potions so that your cows can get pregnant. You can't do it for sheep though. Just buy all the sheep, I guess. I wanted 4 cows and 4 sheep, so that was actually kind of annoying. Of course, it takes a while for your cow to give birth anyway. I bought most of the cows, but I did have one baby. I had one baby. It takes long when you have the baby one for it to grow up. There's like 3 sizes for cows, I guess. There's their baby one, and when you buy them, they're also smaller and then they get bigger. You can buy animal medicine for when your cows or sheep get sick. Cows and sheep get sick if you don't feed them or if you leave them out in the rain. They will die after 7 days if you don't give them medicine. Chickens won't need animal medicine. They'll get unhappy instead of sick. So you just need to feed them for them to get better. I don't think you can starve them to death. I didn't try to. Cows and sheep can also be unhappy, like if you hit them with a tool. That seems kind of obvious. They make a face like this, and I've also had animals leave the barn without my permission on rainy days, and their eyes will like bulge out while they're out there. But I didn't have a sick animal after that, so I don't know. They might have to be like left out like overnight for them to get sick by the rain, otherwise they're just like bothered by it, I think. When it comes to putting animals outside, I still don't like doing it since time moves so fast outside. I still don't recommend it for this one, but the chickens will lay eggs outside, so it's not as pointless as in SNES. But if there's a typhoon, your chickens will absolutely die 100% chance if they're outside. Most sources don't mention if cows or sheep can die in the typhoon or not. I haven't tested it. I'm betting they probably don't like it. Kind of sounds like they probably don't die. You have your dog and a horse, of course. Both of them can be entered into races. Both are immortal. I already said earlier, but make sure to feed your dog every day or it will lose affection. Feeding him, picking him up, and whistling for him will increase his infection, which will help him win races. There was a rumor that putting your dog in the greenhouse stops it from being destroyed by a typhoon. Not true. Fake. For the horse to do better in races, you don't feed the horse at all. But you can whistle for it, brush it, and ride it. It will automatically lose affection for you each time you sleep, because it wants you to suffer, I guess. When your horse is grown, it can be used as a portable shipping bin. Still not a big fan of that. Moves around too much, and once again, you can't ride it outside of the farm to ship things that you forage. And at some point, you'll probably be growing all of your crops in the greenhouse. So no, I don't like the horse as a shipping bin still. Like I mentioned, you can forage in the mountains for some things to ship or for things that you want to use as gifts. You can go mining, but it's very limited. There's a door inside the cave that you can only enter through winter 8th to 30th. And if you go in, you can't leave until you either run out of energy or are kicked out at 5 p.m. So, that's kind of weird if you go in there and change your mind. Too bad. There's a lot of important items in here that you'll want to give to certain characters. Moonlight Stone and Rare Metal for Rick, a Blue Rock for Saibara, and a Pontada root for Dagus. That's a whole bunch of words I can't pronounce. You'll need your hoe for mining. You dig. There aren't any rocks, so you don't need your hammer, just the hoe. Unfortunately, you can fish. To get the fishing pole, you need to talk to the fisherman, Greg. You might know by now that I already have very little patience for fishing in games with short days. Absolutely true here, but it's worse. It's so much worse. You have to hold B and let it go to catch the fish. That's simple, very simple, fine. But Pete's reaction to catching a fish is delayed, so even if you let go of B really fast as soon as you notice his reaction, you still probably won't get the fish. The solution is to just repeatedly cast and pull in over and over and over and just hope that a fish just happens to bite by chance. I caught enough fish to get all of the recipes that required fish, and the 2 for the Kappa by fishing this way, and I hated it a lot. I did not get a good review from Greg to my father when it came to fishing. And I still don't have one of the power berries. So There are 17 festivals, 4 for each season, except for winter where there's 5. Very good amount. Spring has New Year's Day, the Sowing Festival or Planting Festival. Different places will list them as different. I think they called it the Sowing Festival. Horse Race and Flower Festival. Summer has the Fireworks Festival, Vegetable Festival, Firefly Festival, and Swimming Festival. Fall has the Cow Festival, Harvest Festival, Egg Festival, and Horse Race. Winter has Thanksgiving, Dog Race, Starry Night Festival, Spirit Festival, and New Year's Eve. I feel like most of these don't need an explanation, but I should let you know about the whole Harvest King thing. The Spirit Festival in fall is where the Harvest King is picked. It is random. So if you want picked, you need to not save when you go to bed before the festival. Without save states, that means replaying the whole day before the festival. With save states, you can save in one of those before you sleep, because it will be determined when you wake up that day. That's why you need to not save. I keep forgetting to do that, so I have not been picked. Then in the Sowing Festival in spring, the Harvest King gets to go in a hot air balloon. You can still go up if the Harvest King likes you, since he gets to pick someone. Then before the Flower Festival in spring, you vote for a girl to be the Harvest Goddess, and the Harvest King dances with her at the festival. If the Harvest King likes you, or if you're married to the goddess, the Harvest King will ask to switch. So I still got to dance with Potpourri. Typically, if you weren't the Harvest King, you have to pick one of the other girls to dance with. Alright, and speaking of the girls, there are 5 bachelorettes, no special bachelorettes. I've already mentioned there's no bachelors, but there are rivals. To get married, you need to raise a bachelorette's heart color up to pink. I think the heart colors are interesting here because they're different from what I'm used to. It goes white, blue, green, yellow, pink. There's no black, purple, orange, or red. That's really neat to me. You also need to have a kitchen. It costs 5,000 G and 350 lumber. There are certain events that you can get for each girl, kind of like heart events, but I don't think you have to see them get married. I did for potpourri, but I don't think you have to. There's 5 similar events for each one that goes differently depending on who it is. Those are the sick day, dream, sprained ankle, the photo ones that you get photos for, and confession events. I think it's worth seeing them, even if you don't need to. Once you have the heart to pink and the kitchen, you can buy the blue feather from Rick for 1000 G. Actually, you get a discount, so it's 980 G. Okay. Once you propose, you'll be married on the next Sunday. After getting married, if you're neglectful to your wife, like not talking to her, not giving her gifts, giving her bad gifts, and I think they still get upset if they go to bed without you in this one. Her heart can drop down to blue and she'll leave you and go back to her family, taking your kid with her if you have one. It's not entirely a divorce, but people tend to call it a divorce. You can't marry anyone else. The other girls will actually disappear while this is happening. They will not be anywhere. You'll have to go and make up with your wife to get her to come back. If you are nice to your wife, talk to her every day, give her good gifts, she'll actually do chores around the farm for you, like for real. I've seen conflicting information on what each one does, and I haven't married everyone, but it looks like each girl except for Karen has 2 things, or at least 2 things. Looks like Karen only ships eggs. All 5 of them are involved with the chickens, whether it's feeding them or shipping eggs, at least from what I'm reading. That seems to be agreed upon everywhere. Potpourri will also water crops sometimes, and Maria will sometimes pull weeds. Those are the only like very unique ones. The rest is just chicken stuff. Since I married Potpourri, I've only seen her water crops before I got the greenhouse and filled the field with grass. I haven't seen her mention it since that, so apparently they can't water in the greenhouse. So for me now, she just gathers eggs. Never saw her feed the chickens. I'm certain she doesn't do that. Places say she does, but she never has for me. She only gathers eggs. To have a child, you need to have the carpenters build a baby bed for 1000 G and 150 lumber. You need to keep your wife's affection high. After a season, she'll complain about some really specific symptoms. After another season, she'll know she's pregnant. In Potpourri's case, she won't know how. After one more season, your child will be born. He'll always be a boy. He'll be a baby, not being able to do anything but be in his crib or be carried for 1 season. Then he'll start crawling around. You can still pick him up, still a baby. This lasts for 3 seasons. On your child's first birthday, he'll become a toddler and he'll now walk around by himself. You can't carry him anymore. This is how he'll be for the rest of the game, no matter how much time passes. Alright, so the Bachelorettes. Potpourri, the bubbly girl who lives and works at Flower Lilia with her parents, Lilia and Basil. She's Nina's granddaughter. She loves flowers, she hates bugs, but she's working with plants, so that's a little unfortunate for her. Your rival for her is Gray. Their child together is named Mint, and wears a bunny outfit and is a girl, I'm pretty sure. And I like the idea that Gray's last name is Green. That's like a theory people have, because he's from Green Ranch. So their baby would be Mint Green. Karen, the cool girl who lives at the vineyard with her parents Gotts and Sasha and works at the bar at night. She's Eve's granddaughter and she inherited the blonde hair and just her bangs. While the rest of her hair is brown, because that's how genetics works, I guess. Cliff is her cousin. He also inherited Eve's blonde hair and the bottom parts of his hair. That's worse. Karen likes fruit, like very berries and tomatoes. And when your dog has low affection, you can show it to her over and over to max out her affection in just 1 day. Your rival for her is Kai. I don't think their child has a name, but it's a girl, I think, in a Pikachu outfit. Take me with a grain of salt on the genders of their children. Ellie, the sweet girl who works at the bakery and lives with her grandmother, Ellen. Ellen is still alive from SNES, up to a point. That's all of Ellie's family in this game. It's just Ellen. She likes baking ingredients and cake, so eggs are probably what I recommend most to give her. She worries about her body image. She thinks she's fat. Your rival for her is Jeff. Their child will be wearing a chicken outfit. A boy, I think. And the tomboy who lives and works at Green Ranch with her father Doug and her brother Gray. She's Anne's granddaughter. Their names are spelled different in Japanese. She likes being shown your dog or chickens. I wouldn't give her wool, but corn and potatoes seem to work okay if you don't want to carry around your animals. Your rival for her is Cliff. I don't really like this version of Anne very much because she gives Cliff a black eye if she marries him, and not just once. It's not an event. I've gotten this dialogue from him over and over. The black eye shows in his portrait so you can see it. Their child will wear a dinosaur outfit and I think is also a boy. Maria, the shy girl who works at the library and lives with her father Mayor Thomas and Mother Anna. They're just called Mayor and Mayor's wife, but their Japanese names are Thomas and Anna. She's Maria's granddaughter. She wasn't actually supposed to have the same name as her grandmother, but her name was mistranslated. It should have been either Mary or Marie, depending on how you translate it. But yeah, Maria was definitely not it. She plays the organ at the church like her grandmother. She likes cabbage the most. Nothing comes close to cabbage with her. You could give her flowers, eggs, tomatoes, lots of things, but it would take a while to woo her. It will also take a while to grow all the cabbage and be able to store it all. So, yeah. You can show her bugs. That's nice. Your rival for her is Harris. Their child will be in a panda outfit, and again, I think is a boy. As for other characters, I cannot stop myself from mentioning that there is a scrapped character that I wish was a bachelorette. She's called Princess Vanilla. A princess from Prune Kingdom and Flower Country. She was turned into a turtle, kidnapped by a mole, and was going to be forced to marry a frog. There was going to be an event where you turn into a turtle as well, and after getting turned back by a bachelorette, you can turn Princess Vanilla back into her real form as well. And then it sounds like she stays in Flowerland as a normal character. I love that. And I didn't make this connection. And I can't believe I didn't notice the similarities, but in an interview with the artist Igusa Matsuyama, they called her Thumbelina. The mole and the frog make so much more sense now, but they also said she's very small, which makes sense if she's Thumbelina. But I was picturing her as being the same size as other humans, and was wanting to marry her, so like, can I still do that if she's tiny? But, really, Bachelorette or not, if they ever make a 64 remake, I want her back in. Please put her back in. Also, the turtle sprite that's supposed to be her in her turtle form looks like almost exactly like this turtle, looks almost exactly like this turtle you win from the Egg Festival when you, already have the power berry in the second year. But she has a cute little crown. Also, I mentioned that Cliff is Karen's cousin, so Eve has 2 grandchildren. We don't know Cliff's parents, or if his mom or dad was Eve's child. We also don't know for sure which one between Gotts and Sasha is Eve's child either. I know that Gotts said that his grandfather started the vineyard, and his father inherited it, and then he did. So Eve would have, if she's Gotts' mother, then she married into a family that had a vineyard, which seems like something she would like since she loved alcohol. I know Sasha used to be a dancer, and Karen got that from her, but I don't recall anything about Eve dancing. I'm just trying to think of like things that like are being like passed on, right? So I guess I'm leaning towards it being Gotts, but Sasha's appearance seems like it could be her, I don't know. It's obvious in the pink hair family that Lilia is Nina's daughter, and not Basil being her son. That's very clear, no questions. Lilia talks about how her mother loved flowers. I'm guessing that between the mayor and his wife, the mayor must be Sness Maria's kid, right? Because he does resemble the first mayor. Mayor Maria, right? His wife, some people say, kind of resembles Roller. So it could be her, but I don't think it is. I don't really see the resemblance that much. I think it's the mayor. That seems pretty clear, I think. Anne and Gray also have a cousin, Rick. So Sness Anne has 3 grandchildren, so had to have at least 2 children. Alright, because of his hair being red, I kind of assume Doug is Anne's son. We haven't seen his wife, though, since she's dead, so, I don't know, but if he is, then Doug must have another sibling that we never see, or if it's his wife has another sibling somewhere. We don't ever see Rick's parents, so we don't know if it's his mom or dad that's Anne's kid. Rick is actually the one who takes the most after Sness Anne. He's a redheaded inventor that works in a tool shop, and his inventions mess up. He's not a rival for anyone, so he probably wouldn't be a bachelor if we could marry the guys. I would marry this Rick. He's cute. I like him. I mean, I already said that Sness Anne was best girl in that game, so that makes sense that I think Rick is interesting. I don't know if Ellen had a boy or girl child, since either way, they're dead. So it's just her and Ellie, or just Ellie. So, you know, something sad, kind of spoilery, but it's something people talk about a lot, so you probably know. During your second spring... Oh, that's a great sound to happen now. I wonder if you guys can hear that. That's not gonna stop, is it? Okay, well, anyway... During your second spring, Ellen will stop moving. Her chair will be still. It's usually rocking. If you talk to her while her chair is still, she will die. It's your choice whether she lives or dies. You get to pick. For that entire spring, if you don't talk to her, no one will be outside in that area. Because it expects you to trigger the cutscene, which kind of does imply that she's meant to die. But if you ignore her for that entire spring, she and everyone else will be back to normal in summer, and that will never happen again. All springs after will be normal. You will make Ellen immortal. Also, I tried to figure out which bachelorette is most likely related to you, because one has to be your cousin if Sness Pete married one of the Sness bachelorettes, and he's your grandpa. So, Potpourri, Karen, and Maria all have both parents that should recognize you as their nephew, and your dad is their brother, right? Or, I guess I don't know if I assume the dad, since he shows up and not the mom, is Pete's child. Potpourri, Karen, and Maria's parents should recognize you as their nephew if you're related to them. Ellen is there and should know if you're her grandson, one would hope. That makes Anne the biggest suspect. Of course, if it is Doug, that's Sness Anne's son, he should recognize you as his nephew as well. But if it's her mom, that was Sness Anne's daughter, she's not around to confirm if you are or not her nephew. So, your dad could be her brother. Or Sness Pete married Sarah and none of them are your cousins. I don't know, but if one's your cousin, it's Anne. Alright, graphics. This is one of the most adorable games when it comes to how the people look. They are so cute. Specifically the people. So freaking adorable. I am not crazy about how the animals look in this one. The chickens are okay. I don't really like how the cows look. The sheep too are kind of they're shaped weird. I think it's the legs or something. The legs are weird. I mean, they're still cute, but like in comparison to the other games, they're cuter. The world is blurry. Not a huge fan of that, but all 64 games are a bit blurry, so that's not... I can't really judge it too hard for that. I like how the crops look. Speaking of the characters being cute again, the dance is so cute. The dance at the flower festival. I already thought the dancing was cute in SNES. It is so much cuter in this game. They're so bouncy. It's so adorable. I like the character designs a lot in this one too. And it's a real shame that I guess I'm back to talking about characters instead of just but it's a real shame how some of the characters got like completely left out when Back to Nature happened. That's sad. No more Kent. Yeah, I'm just talking about characters again. I liked Stu a lot better in 64 than I do in Back to Nature. In Back to Nature, in Friends of Mineral Town, I always kind of was just annoyed by him. He's actually really cute in 64. He's a sweetheart. He likes flowers, but he's all self-conscious about it because he's a boy. Okay, so music and sounds. I like the music for the Harvest Goddess and the Flower Festival dancing music. Those are like two completely opposites of each other, but those are my favorites. New Year's Eve, The Bad End, and Winter also have nice music. Everything else is fine, except for summer. Summer, I don't like summer music. None of the sound effects bothered me, and there are no voices, so I don't think there's anything noteworthy there. Replayability. Oh, yeah. Definitely replayable. Yeah. If you're trying to collect the pictures and keep failing, oh yeah. It's hard to get a full album. I haven't even tried really yet. I will get a full album. So yeah, I plan on replaying a lot. I want to marry all of the girls. There are 4 save files, so you could keep a save file for all except for one girl, or you could still marry everyone, just you'll have to delete one of them at least. She's your least favorite, I guess. For me, that's Anne, I think probably, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know, because like I have seen people say that they've married Anne to save Cliff from her, so that he wouldn't get the black eye. But I still don't know if I want to marry her. She might be my cousin. Potpourri I picked to marry, and I liked her I think I do like her the best, and I like her, I think, more than I do for the Mineral Town version, the Back to Nature version of Potpourri. I mean, I really love her there too, because she's the chicken one. Obviously, I like that. But something about this version, I just like better personality-wise, I think. Ellie, I might like most of them more in 64. I think I do like all the other girls more than Anne though, anyway. Usually I'm not that interested in like Mary, Maria. But even she's pretty sweet, so. And she likes bugs, so. Ellie's cute, and Karen I like too. Ellie and Karen are getting married by me, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, then the last file, if I don't just like marry them both and like save over one. I mean, still, I would have to pick which one I want to do first and then delete just to marry the other, right? So I think my least favorite would probably be Anne in this one, even though her grandmother was my top favorite, even though I didn't even marry her grandmother in SNES. She was my top favorite in SNES. No. Rick got all of the good qualities. Alright, do I recommend? Yeah. Just like how I said with SNES, if you already have Switch Online, then like what are you waiting for? If you don't already have it, as long as it's not the only game you're going to play, then I think it is a very good idea. There is no singular game I'd recommend Switch Online for, but like for like all of the games together, sure. As for buying a physical cartridge, I've come across it less often shopping out in real life than I have for SNES, oddly enough. But I'm assuming most people would be online shopping, not actually going out looking for specific games in person like I do. It's much cheaper than SNES though. I've seen it for around $60 for the real thing. About the same as buying a Switch game, so might as well. Yeah, I think it's a really good game. I do know that on Strategy Wiki there is like a list of a bunch of glitches that can just absolutely just mess things up. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. I know a lot of things can turn invisible. So you should probably look at that, because that is one thing that I didn't get any though. I didn't get any. It's apparently not that easy. I didn't get any. I'm trying to think of anything bad. I can't think of that many bad things. I love the characters. I think their dialogue's not that well translated all the time. I have no idea what Potpourri is trying to tell me when I show her an animal. Absolutely no idea what that means. Some weird stuff in this game. Also, you can get drunk. One of the festivals is just out drinking everyone. Alcohol, actual getting wasted. I couldn't get Gray to leave for some reason. And I don't know if that was a glitch or if he's supposed to do that. Alright, I gotta wrap this up. I do recommend the game. I think it's very good. It's definitely not perfect. There are some issues. This one's worth it. This one's worth it. Especially, it's so different from Mineral Town. You might not think it's worth it because it's just like the same characters. It's not the same characters. They are different characters. They have the same names. They have the same appearance, but they have different jobs. They have different families. Their personalities are a bit different. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me any of your thoughts in the comments. Your favorite bachelorettes, what you think about this game, anything. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!